Hi, this is Michaela. I'm the wife of the artist Kevin Grass, who creates the Lame Ducks series of paintings, and I wanted to show you how you can order prints and how you can use the wall preview tool. So here you're on the home page for the website. That's the prints page, and I'm going to scroll down because I'd like to look at the air ducts image. So here we are. Here's air ducts, and notice that there are two tabs, art prints and original painting. Let's start with the original painting, and here you see the painting, and notice that there's a frame option, a gold frame or a black frame, and in the thumbnails below you can see how very different this image looks by just changing the frame. This image shows a detail and even a further detail of these cute little ducks. And this image explains what the air ducts is all about. For this painting, Kevin also did a time-lapse video of what it was like to paint it. So if you click here, you can see the beginnings of the time-lapse video. And it takes you about 2 or 3 minutes to watch the whole thing, not 2 minutes. If you're watching this video on your computer, you can also click full screen so that it takes up the entire screen, and then go back and look at the image on the website. You can choose the wall preview tool, which I'll show you shortly, and if you're on a mobile phone, then you can also use the Augmented Reality tool that lets you see what this painting will look like in the actual room you're thinking about hanging it in. So definitely something that you can click around on and explore. But because original paintings are a little pricey for some people, an art print might be a much better way to go. So here you see the art print for the same air ducts image. Incidentally, you can click here to see more details about the full description. And the first step that you need to do is figure out which medium you'd like. There are several medium available. And if you click on the question mark at the top, then you can see a video opening, and you can click on that, and it will show you that luster paper, for instance, has a fine grain pebble texture. It looks like high-end photo paper. Pearl fine art paper, on the other hand, has more of a glossy surface and lots of good resolution and color. Canvas prints are helpful because you don't need to frame them necessarily. They have the edges that are already printed, and so you can just go ahead and hang them as is. That's also a feature that works well for metal prints. Metal prints are in sleek aluminum. They seem to float above the wall and have a very high sheen glossy surface. 1/4-inch acrylic is probably the most expensive version of prints that you can buy. They look ready to hang and again have a very high-end sheen to them. They're also more expensive because of that. But let's say you're a student and you want something for your dorm room and you can't put nails in your wall or so, then the repositionable wall material is a very good option. It's also one of our least expensive options. But for this exercise, let's go with a luster paper because that's a beautiful and affordable option. And the next thing you do is select the size. 8 by 10 is the smallest default size, and that's handy because you can buy regular standard photo frames for 8 by 10 photos and they will fit for these prints. The actual paintings are painted at 20 by 16, and so that's the size that we're going to explore a little bit further. And the next tab is the styles. You can have just the print or order the print with a 1-inch, 2-inch, or 3-inch mat. I like the 2-inch mat, so let's click there. And I'd like to not only have it matted, I'd like to look at the frame options. So when I click on frame print, this 4th tab opens up and you can see some frame options. Let's just see how it looks with a 2-inch mat. Here you can see it with a white frame, a 2-inch mat with a black frame, a gold frame, or a silver one. For this image, I like the warmth of the gold frame. I think it goes well with the sunset. You can use the loop to see details of the print, but I'd really like to see how it would look on a wall. So scroll down and click the wall preview tool. And there you have the print, 20 by 16 size in a living room. I'm really thinking about putting it in an office, however. When I see this, I'm thinking maybe it needs to be larger than 20 by 16. So let's see what other options we have. Oh, I think that is a good size. Although, what about really huge? Nah, that's too big. But maybe 30 by 24 is a really good size for this. However, the office that I'm looking at actually has a different wall color. The wall color is more like this. Okay, that would work. But what about if the wall color is blue? And yet you can see the pop of color and the cooler portions of the print can still work even with a different kind of wall color. A lot of people stick with white, but maybe you don't want an office. Maybe a bedroom is more what you're interested in. And for this bed, maybe you would like it just a little bit smaller. Yeah, that seems like a good proportion. In order to match the pillows, you have more of a warm wall color. You can play around with this, change the wall color, change the size of the print, change the living room, office, bedroom, nursery, conference room, etc. And once you've decided which size works best for you, you can X out of it. Then, once you've decided, medium, cluster paper, size, we'll stick with 20 by 16 because that was affordable. With a 2-inch mat and a frame, in this case a gold frame, just go ahead and continue and add it to the cart. Notice that this price isn't discounted. However, if you go to the website and click on the blog tab, you can find that not only do you see the blogs that are recently done, but you can subscribe your email. Once you've subscribed your email, you'll get our newsletter with any kind of discount codes or sales notifications. So that's really handy for when you want to order a print or an original. The biggest sale of the year that we have is usually around Black Friday for the holidays, so be looking for that, and I hope this was helpful to you.